Prepare yourself for invasion. This is Indie Invasion.
What's up, invaders? Happy Thursday. We're back. And I just tried texting everybody, and I think I sent you a private text.
You did. And nothing's up. Hey, look, it's Clem Cadiddlehopper, a.k.a. Todd. What's happening, friend, sir? Oh, look, there's Ron. Look, boy, everybody's here tonight.
There we go. I tried sending it before.
There you go. There you go. Not too many people are going to see it in the private chat. So
no.
Well, it's nice to be back. We missed a couple of weeks.
Real life.
Yeah, real life happens, man. It does, and it just never always seems to catch up with you. But that's okay. You know, yep. we press on, and we were sourly missed. Not sorely missed. We were sourly missed. That's probably far more appropriate for us. See there? Sourly missed.
Gotta lay off them gummies there, Clem.
I guess so. So, well, what's you guys in the comments too? What have you guys been up to? And what you been up to, Eric, for your 2 weeks? You said you've got a whole bunch of kits there next to you, putting it together.
I'm gonna move the camera because this pertains to our subject a little bit later in a little bit. And you can see the pain. But I got some new brushes.
New brushes. What's up, Terrence? I thought you just got some you haven't broken out yet.
Well, you know what? Let me turn this banner off. I don't know why this banner's still on. See, we're rusty. So I got these.
Right?
These are actually hand-me-down makeup brushes.
Oh, yeah. For some terrain dry brushes.
She was going to throw these out. And I was like, wait a minute. Let me see those.
She's crazy.
I could use those for dry brushing.
Oh, yeah. That's a big thing, man. Good makeup brush. Well, not really even good.
Look at the size of that thing. I get a lot done with that.
No problem, Ron. That's cool. Don't even worry about it, dude. I remember you telling me about your dad's funeral and stuff. So
sorry to hear about that.
Don't even sweat it, man. I know you got me, and I am not in a hurry for anything. I was just telling Eric I've got some Etsy minis coming. I picked up, going to give another free plug for Modest Mini Studios over there on Etsy for how fast he prints and gets stuff to you. But I've got the Hellfire Club coming, and with Eric as a huge X-Man fan, I know he knows the Hellfire Club.
You said that, I went, ooh.
Yeah, so I've got them coming for Crisis Protocol with some custom cards. So I'm kind of excited about that.
But I just noticed Terrence was watching the hype video for Mobile Arms. I was going to mention that tonight because it's
check this out. I got Mobile Arms.
Well, not those kind. They're
not that. Okay.
Big mecha robots. Mobile Arms. That is the next game by Corey Sullivan, who did the medieval fantasy one.
Yasiga. Yeah. Oh, so, I haven't even seen that.
And it kind of neat looking. He gave me a little preview of this at Adepticon, and it's
maybe like a little BattleTech-y / Gundam kind of crossover.
I mean, look at those suckers. They look
they have a very BattleTech feel to it. I can't really see that one on the left too well. He looks a little more Gundam, but the dude on the right definitely looks like
and look at some of this terrain you can play on.
Okay. So basically, they're just like an armored suit, man-sized suit.
Yeah.
Okay. Robotech for the win. Yeah, man. I wish they hadn't hosed that tabletop game so badly.
Yeah.
Robotech would make a great game.
So if you guys are interested, I think it's the 22nd. They're gonna have their backroom event for pre-order, and these guys are fast at getting stuff to you. Check it out. It seems like when I played it with Corey and he's showing me some of the stuff, it's very quick. It's kind of cool how you can build your rigs easily. using cards and stuff like that. And he's got a mechanic in there that the weapons can get overheated, so you actually have to cool them down.
Okay, so very BattleTech with that. That's very BattleTech.
Yeah. So head over to their YouTube channel. You guys can watch this little preview video they got where Connor's kind of talking a little bit about it. He gives you a kind of a quick overview of how, the game world basically. And it's got custom dice in it and, very similar like X-Wing. They have symbols that do different stuff. So,
all right, that's cool. That seems to be a thing really coming out now. I mean, the last 2 games I've poked around with, Shatterpoint and Crisis Protocol, both the same way. Yeah, all the custom dice, the X-Wing, all of the flight path system, they were all the custom dice.
Have you gotten many games in recently? Like like the Star Wars one? I know that one was very new for you.
No, we were supposed to get a game in. We ended up playing Crisis Protocol instead because I was trying to take advantage of the fact. So as many of the people that probably listen to us will be familiar with, you're always the one who has to teach the game, right? You're always the one bringing the new game. You have to teach it. Well, my oldest son bought Shatterpoint and he read the rules, and I was like, oh, well. You can just come over and teach us. Well, he had a long day at work and he didn't end up coming over, so we just played a game of Crisis Protocol. So we had it lined up, and I've got everyone painted except for Ahsoka, and that's because I started painting her, and the blue on her head tentacles. I was like, man, I don't even want to mess with that.
Oh,
so I've got I don't want to mess with it so bad, and I hate painting the white clone troopers so bad. I'm like, I'm just gonna buy bad guys. They don't have clone troopers. I'm just not even gonna buy any more of the good guy packs. I've got all mine painted. That's it, done.
Man, oh man. Yeah, I haven't even thought about diving into the Star Wars because I already have a very full list of projects. Hence, this is kind of when you brought this up the other day. I'm like, oh man, that's all my pain right now is where do I go? What do I work on? It's so hard to come down and decide, because it can be a little overwhelming. So basically, tonight we're going to talk about, can you have too many projects? So that's our little segue there.
Look, Terrence has the new name. This is the subheading of the title for Mobile Arms: Fast Playing Big Stompy Monsters.
Yeah, that sounds familiar there, Terrence.
But that's the sub name right there. Fast Playing Big Stompy Monsters. There you go. Before we jump in, what have you been working on? Have you been working on anything?
Not really. Real life stuff. I mean, I've moved some stuff around and I put a little bit of paint on some guys, but nothing really major. And that's something I want to bring up with tonight's conversation. Is one of the things that kind of is a downside is time. It's hard to find that time to dedicate, any realistic amount to really get something done. It's like I come down here for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and I just don't feel like I got much done. Yeah. Because I spent half the time trying to decide what paint I want to use. I'm going to use this brush, blah, 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 that type of stuff. So, yeah, I mean, it can be overwhelming at times is what it is. And, there's got to be positives of having too many projects. So that's kind of what I wanted to look for tonight and see if we can find some positives of having too many projects.
Oh, yeah, sure we can. That's some wisdom right there, Terrence. That's true. You never find time. You have to make time.
Got to make time.
I remember several years ago, we did a show about, I was putting out a whole bunch of miniatures. I was painting a whole bunch, and everybody was like, well, how do you find the time? And just like Terrence was saying, I didn't find the time. What I would do is when my kids went to bed and my wife was at work, because she works shift work at the hospital, so she'd be gone in the evening at nights. She'd be gone 5 or 6 days. And I would just sit and paint after the kids went to bed till about midnight. So it'd be about 3 hours that I would have
a good amount of time.
Yeah, to sit down and paint. And I would set aside that time. And if I had any schoolwork I wanted to do, video schoolwork, I put it on the computer, which, my paint station's right here, and here's my computer. I put a school lesson on, put a movie on. Usually it has to be a movie you've already seen though, because then you're just watching it because you don't want to miss anything. So it's got to be one you've already seen. But that's true. You got to make the time. You got to set it aside.
Yeah. So and also it's like, here, I'm going to show you guys my problem here, and I want to know, how does this happen? Okay. How does this happen? Here we go. Hold on, guys.
Wait, this would have been even funnier if you had done this. If you had said, I'm going to show you guys my problem, and went like that. That would have been funnier. Hey, wait, are we on the wrong sides?
No, we're on the right sides. I switched us before we went live.
See, I don't even know. People are like, you guys are on the wrong side. And I'm like, am I? I don't know.
Okay, so I have a pile of about 9 MDF bundles over there. And look at all these minis. And, I got
Alder. Piles. Look who it is. It's Alder. Hello, sir. Good morning.
All these packages of minis that I got to build and paint, and then I got
open. And and you're still suffering Adepticon backlash, aren't you?
Yeah, this is still Adepticon stuff, and then I got this cool noodle thing bar that I got. It's a 3D print that I want to put some kind of paint on it. So it's like, I got everything from terrain over there, and I got started minis here, started minis there. Oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. I'm gonna switch back to you and put this back so nobody gets dizzy.
Yeah. So I'm not going to show you my desk. I don't have MDF, but I don't have. I just have a mess right now because I've been doing some terrain building.
Okay.
Oh, look, Alan is absolutely 100% correct. Look at this. What he said.
What's he saying?
Just read it.
Get more painted if I live. Why are you doing that to me?
Because he knows, because he's not that far away. Then it's a team effort there.
You know what? Yeah, a team effort. That would be one positive if you had a group, that you could have little paint sessions.
Yeah.
And show up, and next thing you know, 4 hours go by. You'd be very productive. Well, could we be productive in that? I know us. It'd be.
Yeah, no, I mean, we've done it before, but I think so. As far as having too many projects, there's pros and cons. You like to do the pros and cons technique.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd start us down that road. So I think that one of the biggest pros is it helps you with burnout, right?
I think somebody said that. Yeah, here we go.
And I think the biggest part of that, and this probably, there you go, it was Ron. It probably more so for 40K players than anybody else, right? Because it's so, well, I guess both action players too, because you're painting the same model over and over again. Even if he's in a different pose, he's the same model, right? I mean, he's got a uniform on. He's the exact same thing over and over and over again. So it helps you to break it up. Just like Ron said, to keep you from getting burned out on a color or a scheme or even a style of painting. I know a lot of times what I'll do if I have multiple projects in that vein is I'll have like a superhero model, a sci-fi model, a fantasy model, and
that's actually a good way to do it. And
right,
then,
and a steampunk model. That way I'm not, it does two things. One, it doesn't get me locked in to being like using the same colors over and over again. And the other thing it does is it kind of pushes you, because if you try to do that, if you try to use that same paint style and color scheme from your sci-fi dude to your fantasy dude, you're going to end up looking at your fantasy dude going, he looks like he belongs on a very different board than he should be on, because you know what I mean? So I think that's I think that's a really good pro of having a lot of different projects going on.
Yeah, I see. One of my negatives with it is that I just have a hard time keeping up with it all. I get, like I said, I get overwhelmed. But I just keep picking up this cool stuff. That's how it happens, I think. It's like, ooh, look at that. Ooh, look at it shiny. And then you forget, oh, I didn't finish those other projects. So you kind of get a traffic jam, I guess.
We can blame the guys that created all of these games that are miniature agnostic.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones that you look at something and you go, you know what? That guy would be great in this game, this game, this game, and this game. So you easily justify yourself because you're like, but I can use him in 4 games. That's a good investment.
Yeah, every time GW comes out with one of those big mega box sets and I look at all those minis, I'm like, ooh, look at all those. And then I think, oh yeah, I still have a box set that I built one guy from.
See, I don't have the GW problem. I don't have
certain factions. I see certain factions like Tyranids, kind of easy. I mean, they're aliens, but there's so many options, so it's kind of easier to just kind of be like, yeah, I can pass on
Ron,
that.
you are not convincing me to get a printer by saying that having a 3D printer doesn't help.
No, I think he's trying to convince me.
He might be, but I don't know. I think that. There you go.
Terrence.
I can't wait to see your record.
I want to see that.
Yeah. I think that in my mind anyway, I think that there's more cons for me once you reach a certain point of projects.
Okay.
So I think 3 or 4 projects going on your desk. Now, this is speaking for me. I think that that's a good number to keep me from getting burned out, to keep me from loading up my desk with stuff like all the miniatures that you have on your desk. That's what I tend to do as well. If I'm not careful. That's what I tend to do as well. And then I just get so overwhelmed because I'm looking at all of them and I don't want to paint any of them because I don't know where to begin.
Yes.
So if I put them away in their drawers that I have organized, I feel
forget about them.
Well, I don't feel like I'll forget about them. I feel like it helps me focus on what I have on the table, but at the same time, having those multiple projects where I can diversify my painting. But I think the biggest and best way to diversify, again, this is for me, maybe it works for you guys, maybe it doesn't, is I like to be doing different things. So I like to have a conversion going on my desk. I like to have some minis I'm painting going on my desk. And I like to have some terrain building and some terrain painting going on. Okay. That way I can move between these completely different kind of hobby things. And the only con that I usually ever run into with that is I get to the terrain building part and I forgot to turn my hot glue gun on. So I got to wait for it to warm up. I mean, really, that's generally the biggest con I run into with that. But it keeps everything really fresh for me.
Okay. And so you're always feeling like you're making some kind of progress on some projects. You get stuck on one, just jump to another one.
Yeah, and because like we talked about before we got started, if you look at the background that we have on tonight, instead of our normal indie invasion, those are some of my rule books, right? So
see how many doubles he has. That's the game.
But it helps me feel like I've accomplished a little bit for a lot of these different games, especially with the terrain part of it. With the models, sometimes you're plugging away for one game. But with the terrain, I mean, you look at some of the games up that if you can read some of the titles, I don't know if you can, but some of the stuff up there, the Zone Raiders, the Core Space, all of the sci-fi stuff up there. If I'm working on sci-fi terrain on my workbench, it works for all of it. Something I can use in every part of it. And so there's a sense of accomplishment that is like I knocked out something for 3 or 4 different games. And so I think that's a really good pro. But I would say for me, more than 4 or 5, now everything's a con. Like there's no positive to it. I get to a certain number, there's no longer any positive to having a diversified portfolio of models on my table because then I'm just overwhelmed.
Well, then you kind of feel also like you got to get it done. I got to get this work done on this so I can move on to the next one. I find myself having that problem a lot. And I guess some of it is because the sheer numbers.
Yeah.
It's, oh, I have all these. I want to get them all done. I don't want to just do half of them, because then it's like by that point I might not do the other ones, because it's like I'm ready to move on. So
yeah. Oh, okay. So 2 things in the comments. Terrence, absolutely. That's the big knock on Shatterpoint to me as well. They already had this huge baseline of Legion stuff going on that they could have just stayed right there, right? It would have been fine. No problem. For me, it's not as big of a deal because I'm not as much of a go buy my terrain kind of guy.
yeah.
I'm building it, and when
and you're casual too. You're not in a
Yeah.
tournament and stuff like that.
Yeah, and when I build it, I just build it from my Wild West Exodus days and those stupid plinth bases, right? I build everything a little bit big, because even produced stuff, like I look at the buildings that come in the Crisis Protocol box, right? To my eye, those are way too small. I don't like those anyway. So I'm always building stuff a little bit bigger anyway. So that I get that, and I understand why people took issue with that. But for me, it really wasn't that big of a deal because of the way I build stuff. Mac is like a model railroader without the trains. That is not a true statement. I have trains.
He just doesn't use them.
Yes, I do. I have a steampunk hover train.
I was gonna say, you break them up or you modify them.
That's right. I've got a G scale Wild West train. So that is that is not true, Todd. I do have trains.
Let's see. Terrence is saying some other stuff here. He says what knocked his motivation out is let's see, he was gearing up for TMX, but when he canceled the trip, he didn't have a game on the horizon to build for. So he lost his motivation, basically.
Yeah. I get there sometimes too. And I think it's tougher to keep your motivation when you don't have a game store. Right.
Yeah.
I think that's tougher because worst case scenario, if you have a game store that's close by, you just go pop in and browse, right? If nothing else, we're all gamers. If nothing else, you buy a set of dice.
You might see something that's kind of cool to motivate you, whether, if you don't have an event coming up for a certain thing, maybe you'll see somebody working on something or playing, just a casual game or something like that.
Clem, only without the tracks. No, one train is without tracks. That's the hover train. The other one actually has tracks. I have a whole set of tracks for my Wild West Exodus train.
So let's see. Terrence is asking what game you're going to play next, or schedule one to give yourself a deadline. Yeah, that's that's kind of a good thing to goal, I guess you'd say, to give yourselves. And I think that's when you're looking at these projects, if it seems like it's overwhelming, I think you need to sit down and think about a goal, like type of thing.
Yeah.
Regardless if you have something coming up for it, because then it still gives you something to work for that you can focus on, and not just be like, oh, the sea of plastic of opportunity, type of thing.
So that's typically what I do, particularly when I build terrain. So because I don't have the opportunity to play that often, I'll know that there's a game like in a week or 2 weeks. And so we'll already know what we're playing because all of our schedules are hard to get together for the few guys that are here that play. So I'll get an idea in my head and I'm like, all right, well, we don't get to play that often, so this needs to be a big deal. So I'll go nuts and build some table just for us to play on. And then that's what we'll use for a while. That's what I did. I've built 2 tables for Shatterpoint, super basic, real fast. And just a lot of dry brushing, some detail stuff, and on the table it goes, just finding the right stuff to use as a baseline. So Ron said, seem to get more done when I get my wife to paint with me, as I feel guilty sometimes not spending time with her and the kids. So family paint night is a thing for us. Yeah.
That's a good thing. Yeah.
The kids have joined us on hobby night before. couple of times. And my wife doesn't paint with me, but I'll set up a table like right there and she'll do her puzzles.
Okay.
And we'll all sit downstairs and, the kids they'll either paint or help her with the puzzle or play a game.
So I might have to move my stuff back upstairs because my wife doesn't like coming down here in the dungeon basement because she says it smells like boys and it's cold.
Those are both probably accurate statements. So.
Yeah.
But you see, it's not cold in my basement. And referring back to what Alan was saying earlier, I think is important, that if Eric lived in South Carolina, he would probably get more painted. So. Hey man, I'm just calling him like I see him, dude. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's just true. Just true stories. So what do you think? What do you think about? Do you have a number? Like, can you think of a number that becomes too much as far as projects?
I think it's not so much a number, but it's just, I think it's space wise. Like you guys saw, and you can go back and pause it and look at the lack of space. I feel, that cramped, overwhelming, oh my God feeling that I'm at that point where I think I need to clean my desk off so I can be productive. It's distracting having this much on the table because I come and sit down and it's like, okay, what am I going to work on?
Right.
Oh my gosh, there's too much to pick from.
Well, let me just say that if you will look behind me, there's a lot of room if you came here. I've got a lot of space. I got these 6-foot tables right here that I have set up in my basement, and I've got like 7 more in the garage of these 6-foot long tables. So just throwing that out there. Just throwing it out there.
Okay.
See, look, Raul's right too. If Alan opened a shop here, it'd be another reason for someone to move there. You see how that looked? You see what happens, Alan? You started talking, man, and they were throwing you under the bus too.
Yeah, I came back at him.
Alder said we don't have basements or cold. That's true. That he's not. Again, no one is wrong tonight about the things that they're saying.
Yeah. So I don't know if there's an easy way to solve this. A lot of the suggestions we came up with, I think were very good ones. And there was, like I said, there's some positives. I do think the biggest thing I can take from this, and I'd like this suggestion, was to set small goals, I think, for it, regardless if you have a tournament or something coming up. But set yourself up that you have something to work towards so it doesn't get overwhelming. And I think if I put a lot of this out of sight and then just maybe leave a couple things, like you said, 3 or 4 things out, and just work on those, I'll actually make more progress instead of progress on 20 things, progress on 4 things. I might actually see something.
Well, Terrence makes a good point here too. He says, box them up, but don't shut the top. That way you know where they are. Because that's a good point. You close that top, man, it's out of sight, out of mind. They're gone.
Yeah, and I've had that happen where it's like, oh, yeah, I got this.
Now, Alder says 3 tops. Now, does that mean for you, Alder, 3 miniatures or 3 projects going on at the same time? Like I'm working on 5 burrows and badgers, 5 drowned earth, 5, whatever else. Or is that just 3 minis on the table? Because usually I try to keep no more than about 6 minis on the table myself, because then I'm like, which one? Okay, he said projects. So there's a lot of good stuff here. So I encourage everybody, read through the comments too.
Yeah,
because everybody has made lots of really good suggestions. See which one of those work for you and incorporate it into your hobbying. Because I think we have to do that. We have to put limits on what we're doing. Keeping the others hidden is less daunting.
Yeah, I'm going to throw some of these up. These are some good suggestions.
But, like I said, for me, I got to put a limit on it. You have to limit yourself because it's not the fun that it's supposed to be if you feel this pressure to get stuff done that's on your desk. Yeah.
So I can get to the next. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not so, yeah, I'm super guilty of that. I got to get this one done so I can get to the next one. But it shouldn't be that way for the hobby. It should be, we should just enjoy what it is that we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And so set a personal limit for yourself, whatever that is, whether it's boxing stuff up and getting it off your desk, whether it's once a week cleaning up your desk to get a fresh start.
Yeah, I made a big box.
Yeah, I know, right? Walmart sells tubs, clear tubs. So, but that's about
it. If you guys have more suggestions, head over to Discord, plop them in there. Leave a comment even after we're live. We'll see it, and people will see it, and whether it's Facebook, YouTube, wherever you're watching this.
Yeah, wherever you're watching this, wherever that may be. All right. Well, I guess that's it. Am I taking us? I don't know. This has been too long, so I don't remember whose turn it was. But thanks for joining us, guys. It was real great conversation tonight. It was good. It was good to be back and talk about good hobby stuff. And hopefully everybody takes a little nugget away of how to manage our hobby time better so that it stays fun like it's supposed to. If you want to listen to anything else, remember to go check us out on Podbean and all of the other platforms out there that broadcast stuff out into the interwebs out there. Don't forget to smash all the like buttons and the subscribes and all of those things on the Facebooks, the YouTubes, the twits, and all that good stuff.
It's called X now, I think.
Whatever it's called. I don't know. I hardly ever go on there anyway. So the only reason I'm ever on the twit is because of Indie Invasion. But check us out if you want us to look at a game or have a good topic. Drop us a line at indieinvasion@gmail.com. Check us out on the Discord channel, though. That's where lots of folks post pictures. There's been some variety of stuff going up the past week or so. Some Drowned Earth stuff going up, some Shatterpoint stuff going up, stuff like
Terrence's desk.
Yeah, and picture of Terrence's desk is supposed to be going up, so we're looking forward to seeing that train wreck. Maybe we'll all post a picture of our train wreck, right, of a desk. Also, you can check us out on the Big Red Bubble. Get your T-shirts, your hats, and one day you could be like Ron and have multiple shirts, and be like Todd and have
all the shirts.
Have all the shirts. Todd probably already has a mini skirt. He just hasn't told us yet.
Yeah. We haven't seen the picture, the proof yet.
That's right. So anyway, guys, you got the video?
Yeah. Let me.
Okay. All right. So anyway, guys, when you're out there playing games and overwhelming your hobby desk with way too many hobbies, cut yourself off a little bit, cut yourself some slack, have fun doing the hobby, and don't forget to prepare yourself for the invasion.